What is your experience seeing? Is Goa habitat of tiger, or because of that bigger area of 200 square kilometers, sometimes they stray in Goa? How are you looking at it?
The problem is like now Goa has sanctuaries on both sides. On the western side you have the Goa part, on the eastern side you have the Karnataka part. Fortunately or unfortunately, the Karnataka side also is a sanctuary, right from Dandeli to Anshi to Bhivgarh, it all contiguity. On this side you have got Kotigaon to Madai, a continuous belt of totally protected forest. Already documented 6 tigers are there in the Western Ghats, which is already documented by Dr. Karant. Each tiger has its own stripes. Every tiger is marked. The total number of tigers within the southern region, as per Dr. Karant, is nearly about 500 documented. But most of them are like in Periyar and Rajiv Gandhi Park and Bandipur, etc. 6 are documented in the Ghats. Now the problem remains is that you have to have a breeding population of tiger, a male, a female, for you to consider it as a habitat. Plus you have to have an area where you have to see where all it roams. It may not be necessary only in Madai. I have got information of a tiger in Netravali also. Now that means the whole area you cannot obviously
consider as his habitat.
So you will have to have a larger area like a broad Sahyadri area, Sahyadri Tiger Reserve, something like that, which will encompass parts of Goa and parts of Karnataka.
But it would not necessarily be that only this taluka is tiger habitat or only this area is tiger habitat. We cannot demarcate it like that.
No, nothing like that. You will have to do a lot of study. And Dr. Ullas Karan's study during the last term was very interesting because he has found so many animals of different types that we were also surprised that they existed in the Ghats. That is because of camera traps he has placed all over. And by 2017, he will be having a vast repertoire of so many animals.
We will actually have the data in
hand, and then you can go ahead with whatever you want.
So secondly, the issue of mining, which has always been controversial when it comes to forest and the forest areas. Even in the assembly, we have seen many debates about it. How are you looking at it? Mining is one of the primary economic source of Goans, and we need to balance it with environment also. How can we balance it, and whether we can balance it?
See, mining has been the backbone for Goa economy for years together. It is only during the period 2005 to 2011 that greed took over. And greed was taken over by people from outside Goa. They came to Goa as raising contractors. They plundered, pillaged, took their loot and left. With the result, Goans are facing the brunt now. You have people who were dependent on mining, people like grocery shops, puncture shops, petrol shops, garage owners, everybody was dependent. I remember even a hairdresser like Beera Pujani's, I asked her husband whether you had any, he said no, during mining time I was having a boom. So you can imagine even a place like Panjim was affected by mining and being stopped. So everything has to have within sustainable limits. And now
what are the sustainable limits when it comes to Goa?
Now, so Supreme Court has already put a cap on 25 million tons. Now, 25 million tons has to be decided how to go about it. It's for the government to take a call as to the number of...
What about the allegations that mining companies always encroached into the forest area? How did you tackle it and deal with it?
No, mining companies never encroached any forest area. And the most they did was they could have put overburden on the forest side. Not encroachment is...
Nobody went and excavated into forest area.
No. Because our people are very strict, and unless Forest Conservation Act clears the project, you cannot go mining into forest areas. So that is very clear. Except for overburden or sludge during the rainy season going into forest land. Otherwise, there has never been any encroachment.
There has never been any encroachment when it comes to mining. The next issue is about the private forest, which is a very contentious issue. And the major demand that comes is map it once and for all to clear all ambiguity. Whether it is possible and how difficult is the task, and what are the problems we are facing in absence of it?
The problem is that private forest was as per the guidelines of the Supreme Court. Now, we have to identify areas irrespective of ownership, whether they are got forest or not. Now, the problem is that up to now only ocular estimates were done. Now we have decided, and NGT has also, we have given an assurance to the Green Tribunal that we'll complete all this work in 2.5 years. So we are tendering the whole surveying process. We will make sure that people get to do certain areas. We have drawn up a management plan. My successor will be most probably dealing with it along with the Honorable Minister, and they will come up with a solution in which you will be able to use at least 20 to 30% of your land. Only the higher reaches and slopes you will not be able to touch.
This mapping of private forest will be quite flexible. There will be you will be allowed to make use of it. There won't be a blanket ban on the use.
No. We have advocated. I have talked to the Honorable Minister also many times. She is also of the opinion that we need to take a call, concerted effort. Because supposing if I have my own land and if I am not able to do anything, I will definitely get annoyed. So, except for the higher reaches, which in any case you can't touch.
Correct.
So all the lower reaches
will
be
permitted. Already existing laws banning any development on slopes.
As it is, there is. And 30% is fair good enough for you to make your house or whatever you want to do.
Correct. So, you have seen so many forest ministers. Which forest minister was the best to deal with? I am not asking you to make choices, but very frankly, you are dealt with many, with different approaches, with different outlooks towards, and forest is a very sensitive area. Goa is one of the states with highest forest cover in terms of percentage. Who was the best to deal with? I am not asking who was the worst, but I can definitely ask you who was the best to deal with.
I have had many ministers, there is no problem, but there is no match to Madam Alina, not because that she was my immediate minister, but she has a very good concern for forest. Maybe because of her husband, who himself was a man of great stature, and he had vast things to have on his mind, but unfortunate for his death. So, Madam Alina has great concerns for the environment, and you can be sure that she will not allow you to touch a blade of grass also.
She will not compromise the interest of Goa.
So Goa or Goans for anything.
Secondly, different political parties, different forest ministers, different regimes. How did you deal with the pressure? Because when it comes to forest, it becomes a very contentious area, sensitive issue. There is a public pressure also, there is a political pressure also. What kind of pressures you faced and how did you deal with them?
Pressures will always be there. See, wherever there is an elected government, you will always get a pressure. Like working in the Andamans was a piece of cake because there was no elected representative. But obviously, you will get now our people.
What kind of pressures you faced?
Pressures will be like you catch a person poaching or you catch somebody cutting or bringing wood. So they will please leave him. He is related. Now in Goa, everybody is related.
Everybody is related to everybody.
So we make sure that we take a lenient view, but we tell him please do not repeat it again. And we make sure that please do not go for poaching. Unfortunately, Goans have a very thing for poaching. They will eat anything, right, from frogs to varna, monitor lizard and all. Now, why you need to eat frog and monitor? You've got other things to eat. Frog, after all, is eating all your small insects and larvae, which you again in turn prevents you from malaria. So, if you are destroying the frog, you are destroying a chain of a thing. Same with the monitor lizard. He is in a different world. You are killing snakes. You don't have to kill. We have a helpline 24 hours. You call, they will come, they will catch the snakes.
Very frankly, rather than these major issues that we look at like Western Ghats and buffer zone or mining and things like that, these smaller issues with a much more bigger impact on society at large, like eating frogs or that monitor lizard issue that you mentioned, these were the more sensitive issues to deal with rather than the bigger policy issues when it comes to people of Goa?
No, see, some people have got the habit of eating wild meat. No matter what you do, unless wild meat is not available, they will not be able to digest their food. So, it requires education. Over a period of time now, they are getting sensitized. From the amount we caught in the earlier years to now, it has gone down drastically. People are becoming, now in Karambolem, for example, people used to shoot birds, those ducks used to come in hundreds. Now nobody can, because we have been telling them that they are migratory birds, leave them alone, it's fine.
There is awareness. When it comes to such kind of issues, like for example jumping chicken, how difficult it is to sensitize a Goan and tell him not to do it?
No, once or
And
twice.
still, occasionally you will catch a barrel full of jumping chickens. How are you?
It's not that. Sometimes what happens is that we sometimes go to the hotels, and there we know where it is. Our boys are well aware which hotel sells and which do not sell. Now there was a place called Papagayo in Seoli. He was famous for all this. I had warned him number of times, please don't. He didn't listen. So one day he was locked. All his things disappeared. So we try and educate. Education
Another allegation that comes against forest department is that when animals venture into the crops, they destroy the crops and including the wild boar, and they practically ransack everything. And forest department is very insensitive towards such kind of issues. You will still tell them, don't touch the animals, even if it is a wild boar, don't kill him, let him go back into his habitat. How are you looking at such kind of conflicts where people say that it is our livelihood which has been taken away and forest department is not even allowing us to deal with it?
No, that is precisely the point, because that's why I have told my officers to plant areas with grasses, with tubers, with fruit trees, so that all these animals do not venture into habitation. Wild boar is coming into crops. It's eating tubers and sugarcane. So we decided to plant it ourselves in our blank areas. So our management plan has been approved. Vast areas in the management plan have got acacia. I have told them to remove all these acacias in a phased manner and plant it up with sugarcane or fruit trees or something, so the animal stays inside.
So the need is satisfied within the forest.
So once they are satisfied, they will never come out.
That's the last thing. Your major 3 achievements and the major 3 things that you could not do.
My achievements, activities were declaring the archipelago as the Rani Jhansi Marine National Park. Now, because that is the place where the only mammal species dugong is found, nowhere else. Then second was to make the Galathea Bay into a sanctuary for the giant leatherback. It stopped the bunkering facility which would have come there and finished the giant leatherback. And of course, Madai in Netravali has been an achievement in Goa. Of course, my duty was to ensure that promotions are given to all the staff.
Those are administrative responsibilities.
But I have not been able to do all, especially the pay scales which the RFOs have been fighting for vis-a-vis the police inspector. But hopefully the present government has taken a considerate view, and it should be. Otherwise, I am perfectly satisfied. I have done
with the whole tenure of it.
Whole tenure. I have no regrets. I have enjoyed every place of my stay, and I will continue to do so.
Last thing, a simple and straight message to Goans.
Goa is green. Let us keep it clean and green.
That's the plain simple message that every Goan has to keep in his mind. Richard Bab, thank you for protecting our forests, withstanding the pressures and doing your best. It was really pleasure talking to you and having you. Thank you.
Pleasure.